All right, let's talk about one of the great American novels, Toni Morrison's 1977 masterpiece, Song of Solomon. Now, this isn't just a book you read, it's this sprawling, epic tapestry that weaves together myth, folklore, and some really raw history to get at the very heart of identity. So, right from the jump, the novel opens with one of the most unforgettable images you'll ever read. You've got an insurance agent, a guy named Robert Smith, and he's perched up on the roof of Mercy Hospital. He announces to this little crowd below that he's going to fly right across Lake Superior. I mean, it's strange, it's surreal, and yeah, it's ultimately tragic, but it absolutely hooks you from the very first page. And this incredible opening, it isn't just there for shock value. What Morrison is doing is immediately introducing the central metaphor that's going to echo through the entire story. This idea of flight, what it really means to escape, to be free, and what you might have to leave behind. It's all planted right there on page 1. So this opening act, it's so much more than just a shocking event. It's a literal leap of faith. And it just perfectly sets the stage for the kind of symbolic leaps our main character is going to have to take on his own journey. So who's the hero of this whole story? Well, at the beginning, calling him a hero might be a bit of a stretch. Okay, so meet Macon Dead the Third. Yep, that's his real name, but everyone calls him Milkman. He's born into the wealthiest black family in his Michigan town, but you gotta understand, the house is just emotionally frozen. So yeah, he's privileged, but he is also completely adrift. He's alienated from his parents, totally disconnected from his community, and honestly from himself. He just kind of drifts through his early life, passive, selfish, and utterly cut off from his own heritage. Now, what's really interesting here is you see these two forces, these two poles just pulling Milkman in opposite directions. On one side, you have his father. He's a man obsessed with property, with wealth, but he's completely lacking in compassion. And then on the other side, you've got his aunt, Pilot. And I mean, truly one of literature's most incredible characters. She's this woman who lives completely outside of society's rules, and she embodies this deep spiritual wisdom and a powerful connection to the past. It's basically a battle for Milkman's soul, cold, hard materialism versus true ancestral value. So what could possibly get a guy as passive as Milkman to finally get up and do something? Well, like in so many great stories, it's a quest. But here's the thing. This quest doesn't start from some noble place. Nope, it starts with pure, simple greed. See, Milkman hears this rumor about a bag of gold that's supposedly hidden by his Aunt Pilot. And his greed, that's the one thing powerful enough to finally get him moving. So he travels from his familiar world in Michigan way down into the American South, all while chasing this treasure. But what starts as this selfish hunt for wealth, slowly, almost without him even realizing it, starts to transform. The gold becomes a kind of red herring. The real treasure he starts to uncover is his family's story, this vibrant mythic history that you would never find written down in any official records. And this whole search, it leads him to the absolute climax of his journey. It's a moment where he finds out history isn't something you find in dusty old books, but something that's revealed through memory and through music. Okay, so to really get this novel, you have to understand the power of oral history. Think about it. For communities whose past has been systematically erased from the official records, how does history survive? It survives in the things people pass down, the stories, the legends, and especially the songs. It's like a living archive, carried in the heart and on the tongue. So as Milkman travels through the South, he keeps hearing these little fragments of a children's rhyme, a song about a man named Solomon. At first, it's just background noise, something the local kids sing while they're playing. But then he starts to listen a little closer, and he realizes this simple song contains the very secrets he's been searching for this whole time. What does he find? Well, the song holds his family's real name. Not that sterile, accidental name Dead, which was literally just a clerical error from some careless official, but their true, ancestral name, hidden right there in the lyrics of a children's game. And the name is just the beginning. The song goes on to tell the core myth of his family, the legend of his great-grandfather, Solomon. He was an enslaved African who, as the story goes, literally grew wings and flew back home to Africa. This powerful, mythical story just completely reshapes Milkman's entire understanding of who he is and where he comes from. And this is the heart of Milkman's transformation. You see, he couldn't become a whole person until he knew his own story. By connecting with this legend, with his flying ancestor, he finally finds his own identity. He's not adrift anymore. He finally has roots. Which, of course, brings us full circle, right back to that image from the very beginning of the book. But now, after everything Milkman has discovered, that idea of flight has a much, much deeper and way more complicated meaning. And this is the central moral question that Toni Morrison is posing. Is flight an act of freedom, or is it an act of abandonment? Is it a heroic act of liberation to fly away from bondage, or are you just leaving your family and your community behind? And the novel doesn't give you an easy answer, not at all. On the one hand, yeah, flight is this powerful symbol of transcendence, of escape from oppression. But on the other hand, Solomon left his wife and his children behind. Morrison forces us, the readers, to really confront the painful cost that so often comes with freedom. And flight is just one of the incredibly rich symbols at play here. The novel is just woven with them. I mean, the very names of the characters, like Dead, they reflect a history of stolen identity. The gold that Milkman chases, that represents the false, empty promise of materialism. And finally, the songs themselves, they become the sacred texts, the only place where a people's true history is preserved. So ultimately, Milkman's journey from this alienated guy to a man with self-knowledge, it's really a powerful allegory for the larger African-American experience. It's about the search for a history that was stolen and has to be reclaimed piece by piece through memory, myth, and song. So in the end, what makes this novel such a masterpiece? It's the way Toni Morrison weaves it all together. She gives us these unforgettable characters like Pilot, she blends magical folklore with this gut-wrenching realism, and she explores the deepest complexities of identity with a poetic style that is, well, it's just unmatched. And so the novel leaves us with a final, really profound question. Song of Solomon isn't just about a character named Milkman Dead. It asks every single one of us to consider our own connection to the past. It suggests that without knowing where we come from, without hearing our own ancestors' song, we can never truly learn how to fly.